and I just got to get over there. But problem is, the clutch on my bike is just not, it's not working anymore.
Yep, once again, that's me taking a woefully unprepared motorcycle somewhere it shouldn't be. Last time, it was a VMAX that was barely road ready, and this time it's a 2007 DRZ 400 SM with S rims because I wanted a bike that I could run on and off road and be something simple and easy to work on. Yeah, let's go ahead and pass that back to February Spite to see how that went.
I've got some cash in my pocket, not a lot. I've got a motorcycle bill of sale or two, and I've got a no title, no start motorcycle that we're gonna go check out.
Then I saw the bike in person and I was able to get it to start, and it sounded pretty good. Then I cursed myself.
Carb needs to be clean, but that's easy.
Man, I really do need to learn when to shut up. Now, seeing as how I started filming this in February, and now it's the end of summer, clearly this build has spiraled and it needed a lot more work than I thought. That means that it needed parts and additional budgets, so I partnered with DeleteMe to help me get this thing running again. I'll tell you a little more about them later on, but in the meantime...
What do you say we get cracking and try and resurrect this bike, huh? Let's start by pulling the oil, which is that thing. Good, there is actually oil in this motorcycle. I was a little worried there wasn't. Oh, but there is more oil in there. Means it was worth getting to anyway. Now for the oil screen, or for the oil filter, rather. This is an oily piggy. All right, calibrated elbow ought to do that. Let's put oil back in it. Now I'm gonna have to get this tank off because it is full of varnishy gas, so let's do it.
I can appreciate how easy getting parts off this bike is. Considering what I'm normally working on, this is a welcome change. But getting the tank off is just the first step towards everybody's least favorite part of the DRZ 400, the carburetor.
I'm still not 100% sure how the easiest way to do this is, but I think you rock it out this way. Oh, it smells like varnish. There it is. Man, I've dug deep into this fucking carburetor and it's still dirty. All right, so I had to just kind of put my head down and focus while I was getting the carburetor put back together. It's a very fiddly process, but I'm pretty sure I did it right, and it smells a lot less like varnish. I mean, there's still a varnishy smell. If I had a full-on parts cleaner, I would have done it, but I don't, so I couldn't. So I'm gonna get some 93 octane running through here and see how it feels. Everything else is really clean or new. So let's do it.
12 seconds later.
It works! Kinda. Dang it. It rose just a little. Oh.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, well, this is very rare occurrence, and I'm not entirely sure how I want to take it. Today ended in fabulous accidental success. turns on and it revs. It's very loud, and the pipe has no baffling in it. It's popping way too much. Something's wrong with the mix, but I'm gonna take it over to DeleteMe Bikes and have them deal with it because they're really good at it. Also, my fan works, so that's nice. Again, this is a very rare occurrence for me. Today ended with me succeeding. I'm gonna go inside and buy a lottery ticket. Bye.
Now, there is a world of difference between a motorcycle running and a motorcycle running well, and I'm gonna bring in a professional to help fix this thing in just a second. But before I do, I need to tell you about something that I take very seriously, and that is my personal data, because I work out here on the internet where unscrupulous data brokers are trying to hoover up as much of personal information as possible because they can just sell it to anybody and make a quick buck. Isn't capitalism grand? But thanks to the sponsor of today's video, DeleteMe, you can take a few easy steps to keep your personal information safer. One of the reasons why I love DeleteMe is because I can set it and forget it, letting it run in the background to look for all of my personal info on hundreds of data broker sites. They even generate monthly reports, and as you can see, in 1 month they've scanned over 1,600 listings and sent removal requests wherever my data was found. Of my data, 39% of it included addresses and 28 had my name. It really is that easy. All you gotta do is click the link down in the description below, go to joindeleteme.com/spitescorner and use the code SPITE where you can get 20% off any of their consumer grade plans. Again, that is joindeleteme.com/spitescorner where you can use the code SPITE for 20% off at checkout. And with that, let's turn this whole ad read into a functional motorcycle, shall we?
Alrighty folks, as you can see, we are out front here at one of my favorite shops, DeleteMe Bikes. I'm actually test riding the bike because Chris is too short. So we're going to go take it for a quick little spinsy. As you probably heard, it is running now. It wasn't before. And it wakes right up. So that is a good sign. So we're going to proceed this caution because that tire is 11 years old and the rear tire is probably about as old. So we're gonna go see. There's a little bit of popping and crackling back there. Ooh man, I really got to attend to those brakes. Yeah, it's running good. Man, Chris is so good at his job. That's why I always come to DeleteMe Bikes whenever I need work did, because they know carbureted motorcycles like the back of their hand. All right, let's do a little bit of neutral throttle. A little bit of weirdness there. It pulls so well though. Oh, this pulls so much harder than any other DRZ that I've ever ridden before. That's incredible. And it sounds so much beefier too. Holy shit. This is gonna be a fun bike. It really, it almost pulls like a 690. All right, let's give it what fur going back. Man, this thing boogies. Oh yeah. I'm gonna need to work it through its paces though. That exhaust is so loud. I don't have earplugs in and I regret it. Alrighty folks, as you can see, we are in the van and so is the DRZ. So it's a coming home with me today, but we did notice one thing here.
It's gonna be hard to show, but you can see those little drippy drips. Those are fresh oil drippy drips, and you can see there's a little bit of spillage in there. It seems like it's from the valve cover gasket, so I'm just gonna go ahead and order one of those. But yeah, this bike is gonna need a little bit more TLC. I was also talking with Chris, and we were going over what I felt in my test ride, which is basically just a little bit of weird burbliness on neutral throttle. And he's like, just change the needle. Go to the blue needle and put it on the middle section, or middle setting. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. And we're gonna trust the good carb doctor, because he's the wizard. Again, it's why I come out to Limey Bikes. If you got a carbureted bike and you're in the Austin area or around, they're the best in the business. So yeah. Let's get this thing home and keep wrenching on it. Although, before we get home, we do have to pick up another motorcycle. All right, bike's all loaded up, ready to head back. And honestly, the main reason why I wanted this bike is because of these blue rims. All right, welcome to a few days later, and it is time to get some shit done on this motorcycle. Specifically, a new head gasket. Or no, valve cover gasket. Hopefully, we don't need new head gaskets. Oh, that's heavy. Ta-da! Ah, Permatex! That's why I'm leaking. Fucker. No Permatex on a gasket. God damn it, stop it. Ah, that's so annoying. That's why I have to pull my fucking head gasket. Okay, so it's difficult to divine the health of a motor just by looking at the top end, but just looking at the cam lobes, they're looking pretty clear to me. You know, just usual wear lines, nothing like big and splotchy or anything like that. There's a little bit of something there, but I don't know. Doesn't look bad to me. If there's anything, I can't feel it. So, what's interesting though is this is the valve cover gasket, or valve cover gasket. This is the valve cover. My gasket, which is over there, I took that off. It was covered in Permatex, and you can actually see some of the remains of it right there. So I'm gonna have to clean up the entire sealing surface. But what's interesting, and I think what's proving more cumbersome of a leak, is this. I don't know what this nipple is, but mine was just sitting going to atmosphere. I know this is the breather, which goes to the breather box. But yeah, this was just venting to atmosphere, and there was a ton of oil just sitting right here and kind of pooled up wherever it could. So I'm thinking that's probably my problem right there, is just oil getting thrown off of the, I guess that's probably coming off of the cam chain. A solution! I reached out to Jake the Garden Snake, and he told me where to look, and I found it. So this hose right here that goes to the oil tank was just sitting right there. So whatever this is, I'm assuming it's some sort of like maybe baby little drip line. I have no clue what it does. But it was just bathing the whole back end of the motor in oil. So, yeah. I gotta run off to the auto parts store, get some parts cleaner so that I can, you know, clean up the top end here and then put the valve cover gasket back on. And then I'm gonna run over to Depot or Walmart and get myself a, you know, cheap electric pressure washer that, you know, I don't have to worry about it pushing past any gaskets or anything. So, let's button this piece of shit back up. Every DRZ is like this. There's always something stupid on it, I promise. Every single one has something dumb done to it because they're all just owned by 1,000 different people. So yeah, they live interesting lives.
now we're gonna drain the coolant because I want to. And I don't remember which bolt it is, but I think it's that one. Which means this is gonna make a mess everywhere. If that's indeed the drain bolt, which it looks drain bolty, it's gonna make a giant mess. So this is gonna be fun. Yeah, there we go. Make a mess, DRZ. Fucking get that shit everywhere. Alrighty folks, as you can see, the DRZ is kinda-ish, sorta, maybe a little bit back together. I did run it a handful of times. Not for long, but just long enough to burp the radiator. I still need to do it a couple more times. Just because I'm noticing like a little bit is ending up in the evap or overflow tank down there. I definitely need a little bit more, so I'm just gonna keep burping it. One thing you'll notice is I don't have the exhaust pipe on here. This is an ancient Yoshi pipe on here. And as you can see, this section, this is titanium, by the way. This titanium is blued, which means that there's a hot spot right here. And if I move it, you might not be able to hear it. Right here, it's totally hollow, which means that the packing has long since been blown out of this. Now, I could run it, but I don't want to because I don't like the idea of running an exhaust that is filled with leaks and blowing a bunch of crud out the back. So I'm gonna just order a DeleteMe. You can get a full DeleteMe for like 300 bucks for this. The full system. Comes with everything that I need to get this bike back on the road the way that I want it to. It's possible that it fucks with my jetting though. So it shouldn't, because DeleteMe advertises that it doesn't need to change the jetting, but who knows. This Yoshi is very high flowing, but it's high flowing for all the wrong reasons. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna throw the DeleteMe on there and see what it does. I do have to order it. But in the meantime, where did I put him? Here we go. I'm gonna install some new tail lights. These are actually brake lights, believe it or not. So we're gonna install these. Well, I hit a stopping point here because I'm out of parts that I can install. So I put these on, and as you can see, there are 3 wires. That's because these are turn signal and brake lights. The problem is I need 4 and or 5 wires depending on what circuit I'm gonna tie into, right? So if this had 5 wires, it would be blinker ground, on, always on, and then brake ground. Unfortunately, right now, all I have is light ground, blinker, and then brake light on, not always on. So I have another brake light that I'm gonna install right here. It's on its way, it's gonna be in tomorrow. And I'm gonna tie these guys into the brake light switch so that when the brake light turns on, these actually flash. And then the indicators, they're gonna be easy. I could wire those up now, I just don't want to. So I'm gonna go inside, pick this up again tomorrow after ordering some parts, so yeah. Alrighty, people, I've got the exhaust mounted up. There is one minor clearance issue with this light. I'll show that to you guys later, but honestly, I don't care. The fitment is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is the more important part. Wakes right up. I have been running it, so that helps. I was worried that with the DeleteMe, it would completely throw off the tune. I have the work that Chris did, so I'll be able to adjust it if needed, but sounds very DRZ to me. I'm just gonna have to go test it and see. The problem is it's pouring rain all day today. But next step is actually to put the plastics back on this because I'm officially done with the inside bits of the motorcycle. Last thing I gotta do is actually put a new set of wheels on this sucker. So let's head over to my buddy's place and get the tires on the rims and then put the rims on the bike.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Freaking hate tubes, man. They're the worst. Check this. We were so close to getting that tire on there. We were about maybe 6 inches and one last pull, and when spooning it on there, caught the tube and popped it. So now I need a new tube, and I'm taking these over to Cycle Gear. They can handle it. If they pop tubes, that's their problem. Tube type tires suck, man. They really suck. I get why ADV guys like it, but they're terrible. We've come beyond tubes.
Tomorrow.
Alrighty, folks, this is why it pays to have friends with real tools come into a dealership. They actually can mount this stuff up in seconds, whereas me sitting in the garage with spoons and a Nomar just dying the whole time and popping tubes. Like, that big-ass tire machine right there, it gets it done in seconds. Literally seconds. Whereas I was just sitting there trying desperately to clear the last little bit of this tire with a spoon, and then you hear just the hiss of death as you accidentally grab a tube, and then you're just like, oh, here we go again. But now we're gonna go actually get these mounted on the DRZ, and I can finish this project just in time for me to hit the road. Once again, I cannot thank the folks at AF1 enough for helping out with all of my shenanigans. Let's go get those wheels on the DRZ and finally, fingers crossed, finally finish this project. Although I have another project that I'm halfway through at home because I decided to swap the exhaust back. and the flasher relays that I've ordered haven't worked, so DRZ things, man, DRZ things.
All right, let's get this rear axle off. Well, here it is. It's finally done. kinda. I still need to put a new clutch into it, and I've got these rims over here that just have 11-year-old tires on them that are weirdly scalloped. I've actually never seen this sawtooth pattern on a tire before. Really odd. But yeah, I'm gonna be putting a set of Conti SM2s on here. Don't ask me how expensive those tires were. They almost cost half of what this bike cost. Now, unfortunately, I did have to skip over some stuff, specifically repacking the exhaust and swapping it back over, as well as a couple of other little things like the grips and the quad lock mount that I have on here, just because I ran out of time. My plan was to take this thing up to get on ADV Fest, which I did, and that's how I discovered the clutch is busted. But I literally had 18 hours to put this entire thing back together and pack the van to go up to Sturgis after getting back from Milwaukee for the Harley-Davidson homecoming. Sometimes you just procrastinate, and then all of the little sands in the hourglass run out before you even know what happened. It's kind of how most of the stuff happens in this garage anyway. I did end up repacking this exhaust myself because honestly, it's not that hard. And B, I wasn't loving the way that the DeleteMe was performing on this bike. With the tune, it was running way too rich. And then I knew that by going up in altitude, because we're at about 400 feet here, and then Sturgis is 3,000 or 4,000 feet higher, it was going to throw this bike way off. So I just decided to stick with the base exhaust and just repack it myself. And fingers crossed that was gonna work, and it did. I do still, by the way, have the DeleteMe in there. I may switch it over, but to be honest, I'm not sure that it's any quieter than this with the new packing in it, so I may just buy one more titanium pipe and then just put it on the VMAX. Speaking of Sturgis though, that is where you are going to see this bike next. I took this thing up to get on ADV Fest to shake it down, literally with no prep work. I had no idea if this bike was gonna make it through the weekend. And with a little bit of complaining, it did. So stay tuned for that video and stay tuned for stuff comparing this thing to the DRZ4 SM that you saw earlier in the video. That is actually the next giveaway bike on the channel, and that's coming soon. So if you stuck around to the end, you got yourself a little bit of a spoiler and a look in the future. And for those of you still here, don't forget to click down in the description below and check out DeleteMe. That link is joindeleteme.com/SpitesCorner, where you can use the code SPITE to get 20% off of any of their consumer plans. That is a great way to remove a bunch of your data, and it can help you get less spam calls, and it can protect your identity online. I highly recommend checking it out. Link is down in the description below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See you later.